welcome back to my channel. It's Daisy. This is the squid. She's got a new look, and she's now out in the sun. And we're here to talk to STERK, the counselor STERK. Oh, hello.
Who knew that so many afflicted would flock to the STERK? All these people, they're so sick.
Your cousin asked me to give you this letter.
A letter from my cousin? That's wonderful news. I'm glad to hear you made it to Stonefalls safely. Thanks for bringing this to me, friend.
He did get mugged, but he's alright. A letter for the song. Let's grab the
There you are.
poison.
It's about time you got here.
I'm sorry, what? Hello? Hi. Not moving.
Where have you been? I've been waiting for you to arrive for days now. Hold on. Are you all they sent?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Maybe you should start at the beginning.
Didn't the tribunal send you? Well, no matter. I'm just glad you're here. This is Circa Mora, the STERK. The Lotus Plague reached us right before the MAULBORN arrived. They claim they're here to help, but I don't trust them.
I mean, the Lady Alexia servant mentioned you guys, but she didn't actually send me here, or maybe she did in her godlike way. What can I do to help?
In all the confusion, I'm embarrassed to admit that I lost track of my brother, Dethisum. He's the town consul. Yesterday he went to check on the townsfolk afflicted by the plague, but he's disappeared. Can you help me find my brother?
I hope you find your brother.
Someone in town must know what happened to Dethisum. He loves to visit and chat with all of our neighbors. Come on. The sooner we find my brother, the sooner I can start thinking about dealing with the plague.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Oh, by Bavek. Where are my manners, of course. That's the least I can do since you agreed to help me find my brother. What would you like to know?
You called your brother the town consul. What does that mean?
As the ranking member of House Redoran in this town, he's more or less the one in charge. He's good at it too. The townsfolk look to him for leadership and advice. And truth be told, so do I.
Who are the MAULBORN?
The MAULBORN. They're a fairly new sect, as far as I can tell. Part mercenary group, part compassionate charity. They've been helping those afflicted by the plague. They showed up here and set up a quarantine, and now they claim they have a cure.
Where did the MAULBORN come from?
They have members from across Morrowind, and they're always looking for new recruits. I heard one of them speak in Kraganmore. Lot of nonsense, if you ask me. Nostrum Breva is in charge of the quarantine, and she's the one handing out the curative.
Tell me about the plague.
You haven't heard about the Lotus Plague? People get sick, turn violent. Some claim they become monsters, but I haven't seen it. At least not yet. The MAULBORN have a cure. They promised to fix this. That's why we let them set up their quarantine.
Huh, okay. Suspicious. Okay. Let's go talk to the town folk. Find the brother. Gotta find the brother.
By the three, this place smells terrible.
Do what is needed. Would you stand by while your village or town burn? Then why do you do nothing while Morrowind suffers? The tribunal may be too busy to do the right thing, but we are not. The MAULBORN, a society of like-minded dark elves who wanted to help the poor and protect the weak. was formed to take care of the problems that are too mundane, too inconsequential, or too difficult to attract the attention of the tribunal and its agents. We have a plan for the Lodos plague ravaging our population. We have a plan for the plague huts terrorizing our towns. We have a plan and more than the great houses or the tribunal can say, but we can't accomplish our plans without your help. Join the MAULBORN and become part of the solution. Our volunteers are already making a difference in such diverse locations as the Shark, the Ascension Gorge, and Narcissus Wilderness. We're happy to allow you to help us in our important work. Who are the MAULBORN? We're your friends and neighbors, your cousins, your sons and daughters. We're the gathering storm and the strong arm of judgment. We're the cleansing wind that will soon blow across the entirety of Morrowind. We are healers of wizards, warriors, and caregivers. We are MAULBORN, and we are you. Come make a difference, come join the MAULBORN. Our recruitment legions are anxious to meet you. Interesting. They're trying to recruit. Oh, I did not mean to take a seat. Hi.
Oh, look at me. I'm a terrible mess. You really must excuse my dreadful appearance. I haven't been feeling very well lately. By the way, you haven't seen Nostrum Breva, have you? She promised to bring me more of the MAULBORN curative.
I'm afraid not. We're looking for Dawson? Have you seen him?
Dithisum. The town council? Such a nice young man. Why, I do recall that he came to see me yesterday. He said he had other townsfolk to check on, but that he would bring me a curative as soon as he could.
What do you know about this MAULBORN curative?
The curative? Remarkable stuff. Tastes awful, but wipes the plague right out of your system. One of those delightful MAULBORN gave me one a few days ago. Nostrum Breva, she called herself. But I think I need another dosage.
Can I ask you something else?
I may be ill and bedraggled, but I still have my manners. What would you like to know?
When did the plague first appear in Shark?
Oh, I couldn't say for sure. Perhaps the alchemist Nalene would know. I can tell you that I started feeling ill a few days ago after I drank the MAULBORN curative. She said that would happen. You have to get ill to get better, the MAULBORN said.
Tell me more about the MAULBORN.
Such a polite young woman, that Nostrum Breva. Claimed they were here to provide the help the tribunal refused to give. They have a curative for the plague, you know. Vile stuff. But the best medicine always tastes terrible, my mother always said.
Oh, goodness. Suspicious. These MAULBORN
Uncle,
folk.
are you all right?
Oh, is this your uncle?
You look so pale. No wonder my brother wouldn't let me come by to visit.
Don't worry about me. I'll be back on my feet in no time. But what about you? Your brother said that neither of you had taken the curative yet.
Uncle, I'm not sure about these MAULBORN, and their curative sounds too good to be true, but don't worry about me. Just take care of yourself.
I see Arona has conscripted a new soldier into her private army.
I'm trying to help find her brother, Deesum.
Is Dithisum missing? He was by yesterday for a visit. I know he had other stops to make. He did seem concerned about the MAULBORN, though. Sealing themselves in their quarantine, no longer providing the curative. It made him furious.
Is there anything we can do for you?
My niece's visit was more than enough. I feel better already. Besides, I've overcome worse ailments than a queasy stomach and a bad cough. I'll be fine.
Can I ask a few more questions?
Well, a good conversation is like a hot bowl of guar liver soup. It soothes the aches that ail you. What did you want to ask?
When did the MAULBORN arrive in town?
Well, I think it was 12 mornings ago. The day the wild Nix got into the brooding elf's trash receptacles. Nostrum Breva had the quarantine up in a matter of days. Then she started distributing the curative.
What can you tell me about the plague?
They call it the Lodos Plague. Maybe Vivek knows where it came from, but I certainly don't. I can tell you that it's going to have to try harder if it really wants to kill me. Or turn me into some kind of monster, if you can believe the stories.
Are you really Arona's uncle?
I am a blood kin of House Rederum, if that's what you're asking. More a third cousin twice removed, if you want to be specific. But I've been close to Erona and her family since she and Dithisum were children.
That's nice. Okay, let's continue our search.
Grell, are you in here?
Who are we looking for? There's a lot of sick people in here. Oh.
By the tribunal! Grell! Poor Grell. What in Oblivion's name happened to him? Let's get out of here.
It seems like he turned into a monster, like everybody said what happened because of the plague. This is not good. Okay, come here. Let's talk outside. Wouldn't want to scare the people in here. Alright, come on. Let's talk over here.
The sicker people get, the more incoherent they become, and now it looks like the rumors are true. The Lotus Plague does turn people into monsters. I don't think we're ever going to find my brother.
Maybe we should pay a visit to the MAULBORN quarantine.
The quarantine? I guess it makes sense that Dithisum would want to go see what the MAULBORN are doing in there. And I've yet to see any evidence that the curative works. All right, if you want to go to the quarantine, I'll go with you.
Tell me what you know about the quarantine.
The MAULBORN set up the quarantine around the old graveyard. In the beginning, they were letting people inside and freely distributing the curative. But they closed the front gate a few days ago and haven't responded to any of our requests.
Any ideas on how we can get in there?
Dithisum provided them with the old graveyard key when they first arrived, and I've seen MAULBORN coming and going through the back gate. If we go to the back gate, I'm sure we can get one of the MAULBORN to let us inside.
Okay. Let's do it. I guess these people are waiting for...
The flesh fails me.
To the back gate we go.
Look, it's just like I told you. The MAULBORN are using the back gate. Let's see if one of them has the key.
Hi guys.
Hey! What are you idiots doing? Do we look like plague husks to you?
I don't think they care about that.
Did you see that? They attacked us. And for no good reason. Let's find the key and see what the MAULBORN are hiding in there.
Yeah, they're obviously hiding something. Their soldiers did just randomly attack us. Okay, let's see. Where is the key? There it is. Oh, this is not good. Not at all. Alright. Come on, girl. We gotta be careful.
Look over there. That's one of the MAULBORN. One of the husks must have gotten him.
You were lucky last time. How many times do I have to remind you? If you're going to work with a plague husk, you need to wear the husk scent. I know, it smells terrible, but that's the point. It makes you smell just like the plague husk. That's the only way to safely move among the vile creatures. Remember what happened to Kenny? She refused to apply the husk scent too, complained that it got in her hair and wouldn't come out no matter how many times she washed it. And what did her vanity get her? A plague husk ate her face. Do you want that to happen to you? I certainly don't. Now get your cow together and remember to apply the husk scent. I don't want to have to tell you again. Oh, that's odd.
You have to open those gates eventually, you swits. What are they up to in there? And why won't they let me get a look at their curative? Oh, sorry. I didn't see you standing there through the haze of my indignation. Can I help you? No, wait. You can help me.
How can I help you?
I'm the town alchemist, and I want to get a sample of the MAULBORN curative. They refused to give me any. Proprietary formula, they said. Well, I want to figure out what's in this miracle elixir. I don't trust anything labeled proprietary.
You want me to get you the curative?
Do you always skip ahead in the story? No one has an iota of patience anymore. But yes, I need a few bottles of the curative. I'm sure you'll be able to find some inside the quarantine. Then we'll see what's in this proprietary formula.
Very well, I'll try to get a few bottles of the curative.
Just watch your step in there. I don't trust these MAULBORN or their good intentions.
Can I ask a few questions?
As long as you promise to collect the curatives as soon as we're done, ask away.
What do you know about the MAULBORN?
Not much. They say they're here to help, but they certainly don't act like any charitable caregivers I ever met. I don't trust them. Which is why I want to find out what's in the curative they're pushing on the populace.
Tell me about the MAULBORN curative.
There's not much to tell. They claim the elixir is a cure for the Lodos plague, but I haven't seen anyone recover from the illness yet. But I could tell you more once you get me a few samples of the curative to examine.
Okay, we'll do that. And I get that they have to quarantine people, but I would not want to be in the crypts. That's kind of concerning. Why couldn't you just like pop up a couple tents or something?
By the three, this place chills me to the bones. Let's see if we can find my brother and then get out of here.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty goody. There's some people here, okay. Let's take that for the alchemist. Nostrum's notes. The first afflicted began arriving almost immediately after quarantine was set up. I don't know how we spread the word so quickly, but people seem to be coming from all over the region for the promised cure. I now have the opportunity to observe the afflicted through all the stages of the Lodos plague. It's beginning with a mild fever and random body aches and pains. Oddly, the afflicted suffering this stage of the plague have a terrible hunger that cannot seem to be satisfied. This stage of the plague lasts anywhere from 3 to 7 days. The second stage of the plague is marked by a high fever, overall weakness, and appearance of open sores upon the body. Pain grips the afflicted, making them most normal activities impossible to perform. During the stage of the plague, the afflicted appetite disappears, and they struggle to make them eat and drink a sufficient amount of food and water to maintain their body weight. The stage of the plague can range from 7 to 14 days. If the afflicted doesn't throw off the plague during this period, chances of survival drop to almost zero. The third stage of plague marks the beginning of the end for the afflicted. The open sores now cover most of the afflicted's body, which burns with such heat that the afflicted becomes delirious and subject to hallucinations. The afflicted refuse to eat or drink, and any kind of movement results in agony. This stage of plague is relatively short, lasting from 1 day in extreme cases to as long as 5 days for those unfortunate enough to hang on. The final stage of the Lodos plague is perhaps the most fascinating. Of course, many of the afflicted simply die when the plague has run its course, and death is extremely painful and heartbreaking to watch, but an increasing number of afflicted don't find a natural end. These unfortunates transform into seemingly undead creatures that common folk call the plague husks. The creatures to be mindless engines of violence intent on destroying all life they encounter. Can you imagine the army of such creatures? Priceless. All the crates of the surgeon have arrived. Now we can increase the pace of the afflicted. Time to treat my patient. Nostrum Belva. Okay, that's not good. That's bad. That's really bad. Oh. Some more notes. Useless, absolute useless. The curative isn't going to meet our mistress demanding standards if this simply kills the person who ingests it. If we're trying to create a new poison, we'll be widely successful, but that isn't the task at hand. Reduce the amount of dry coarse blood and try again, and watch the temperature in those cauldrons. One of them was dangerously close to boiling over, and I for one have no desire to be drenched in a spray of boiling curative. So they're turning people into it. Yikes. Yikes, this is not good. This is bad. Okay. Coveted batch 15. This batch of the Corvent was so close to perfect. Unfortunately, it was attached to affected. The afflicted turned into a violent husk far more quickly than we had hoped at this point in the process. Perhaps this particular mixture will be useful later when we need the quick influx of undead soldiers, but now this batch won't suffice. An interesting side effect of this version of the curative concerns the level of aggressiveness demonstrated by the newly created husks. They turn immediately violent and consider everything that moves to be an enemy or food. These husks also demonstrate a total disregard for husk scent we applied when working in close proximity to them. They attacked our workers as soon as they saw them, indicating that the scent no longer masked us from the husk created with this version of the curative. Let's increase the cooking time by 1 hour and decrease the amount of wolf bite by 25%. Undead soldiers, that's not good. Best to kill the soldiers as quickly and effectively as we can.
Defisa, my brother, what happened to you? By the three, I fear the plague consumes you, brother.
Arona, what are you doing here? It's not safe.
The MAULBORN attacked us, and the afflicted are turning into plague husks. Oh, Defisa, this is dreadful.
The MAULBORN are spreading the plague. For some reason, they want everyone to become afflicted. They're not healers. They're monsters.
Okay, I'm gonna read these. Finally, perfection. The latest batch of curative starts the afflicting progress the plague at a reasonable rate of speed, and then turns the afflicted into the plague husks 70% of the time. Now we have a superior version of the plague and an effective way to dispense it. Of course, handing out curatives can be a slow process, especially in the larger towns and cities. Before we begin operations in Mournhold, we'll need a faster way to disperse the plague, but that's not my task at this moment. Besides, I'm sure that the alchemist Merdillion is tackling this problem even as I write these notes. I should also record that I perfect the husk scent. We can once again walk among the husks without fear of being attacked. I might even have an idea about a soap to remove the scent after we're finished. We'll begin making larger batches of the curative immediately. In no time at all, we should be able to give everyone at the STERK an immediate vicinity of dosage of the curative. Don't worry, my mistress, everything will happen just as you have foreseen. Okay, so the leader is definitely a woman. Okay, hi.
The low-dose plague. I have no idea why. But it's clear to me that the MAULBORN curative is actually the source of the disease.
Yeah.
Whatever they're planning, you have to stop them.
You need a healer.
That's not important.
Yes, it is.
Get my sister out of here and stop the MAULBORN. Destroy the so-called curative and put an end to that mad woman, Nostrum Breva.
I don't think Arona will leave your side.
Then convince her. I'm too far gone. I don't want to become one of those things and hurt my sister. Besides, she's a Redoran. She has a duty to the STERK and its people.
No, there is still time to try to help you.
You are as hard-headed and stubborn as my sister. Vivek, damn you. Fine. Do what you must. But if the unthinkable occurs, I expect you to stop me before I hurt anyone.
Don't worry, I will.
Dathesum, you swit. We're not leaving without you.
Okay, you get him out of here.
You know what you're doing. I could become a plague husk at any moment.
My decision is final. Besides, you're sick, and your judgment can't be trusted. I'll get us out of here while our friend deals with the MAULBORN.
Alright. I'll go do that. You get him out of here.
All right, we're done here. Pack everything up. We need to regroup with the other MAULBORN cadres and deliver this plague to the rest of Deshan.
Let's burn! The MAULBORN manifestos. Our land is troubled. Disease, invaders, internal strife are the most obvious problems facing our people. Each of these troubles strikes like a hammer blow, crushing us anew, but we have survived the hammer blows and we have been reborn. We are the MAULBORN and we have band together with the altruistic spirit and a vision for a better Morrowind to provide the aid and assistance that Tribunal is either unable or unwilling to give at this time. With the powerful benefactors from the most prominent drummer houses and the support of nobles and commoners alike, the MAULBORN strive to shelter the displaced and comfort the sick, care for the wounded and feed the hungry. It's not the only proper thing to do, it is the right thing to do. To end, the MAULBORN has embarked on a massive recruitment campaign to fill our ranks with able bodies we need to perform our charitable and compassion work. Our goal is to create an army like which Morrowind has never seen, an army of generosity to offset the hammer strikes that torment our land. To this end, we are proud to announce the opening of our first facility to aid the afflicted, the victims of Lotus Plague needing care and succor, and MAULBORN shall provide it. More so, the afflicted need not only treatment for the plague, they need a cure. And though the work of our alchemists and nostrums, the MAULBORN are prepared to provide a cure for all the afflicted who want it. Come to our facility at the quarantine STERK, where you and your loved ones will find the care and help you so desperately require. And if fortune smiles upon us, you will also receive a cure for the Lotus Plague. People of Morrowind, listen to the sound of a new kind of hammer. It strikes to create instead of destroy, to rise up instead of tear down, to help instead of hinder. This is the promise and the commitment of the MAULBORN. Join us and you shall be fulfilled. Seek us out and you shall find the help you need. On this you have our word. So I guess that's what they tell you whenever you first, when they're recruiting you. The Lotus Plague. To Brava. For continuing to experiment with the new strains of plague, and your work at Shirkamora has proven invaluable. The magistrates is quite pleased. The STERK has been good testing ground. Weak and sickly individuals who arrive, some already infected with previous strains, beg for a cure. We are more than delighted to welcome them in, giving them false promises of cleansing their illness. Even the House of Rednar and Halu are convinced we are here to help. They want to believe. As for the plague itself, it has become quite potent. Unfortunately, survival rates remain shorter than we had hoped. If we want to cause a true outbreak, one that would level the entire city, we must continue to strengthen the magic and test it. The next step will be to raise the level of experimentation. Word has already come that one of our Kurez has developed the purest form of sickness, yet I'm eager for the arrival of these shipments. The larger town will suffice for the next experiment. I recommend Narcissus. The Hollywood fools will never suspect a thing. I need to get in touch with my contacts there to let them know to be ready. Alchemist, whatever. Not good. What's this? Against false gods. Fear not the false gods, for their very presence is a lie, abducted power ripped from the artifacts, undeserving worship received from mindless cattle doing what they're told. You bow to them not out of reverence, not out of respect, you bow to them out of fear, out of the unknown truth left untold. But why? Because it's right? Because it's what is expected of you? The people of this land bathe in filth of corruption and deceit, a filth of their own making. We will give them the cure, all blind and enchanted. We will show them that their gods are not as powerful as they believe. Then MAULBORN will rise to purify this land in the true image of the princess, to clean this soil of all falsehoods. May the three feel our wrath. May the three be cleansed of their lies, for the MAULBORN shall bring forth a reckoning. So this is definitely about the tribunal. Somebody does not like them and wants to show the rest of the drummer people that they cannot do everything. They cannot cure miracles. Like, they can't make miracles happen. Yikes. Hey!
Were you able to acquire any samples of the MAULBORN curative? I'm really curious to see what the elixir is made of.
Here you go, but I'm pretty sure this elixir won't cure anything.
I've been watching the townsfolk who received the curative and came to the same conclusion. But I'll be able to tell for sure after I analyze the elixir. Take this. It isn't much, but I'm sure you didn't have too much trouble in there. Thanks for your help. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some alchemical wizardry to perform.
Okay, you do that. I'm gonna go talk to Arona.
Glad to see you managed to make it out of the quarantine too. Does that mean those MAULBORN fetchers have been dealt with?
The MAULBORN are finished, at least here at STERK. How's your brother?
Not well. Alchemist Naline fancies herself something of a healer, and she's been working with the Thesum and the other afflicted. Hopefully she'll devise a treatment for them soon.
Is the alchemist making any progress?
Some. She seems confident at least. But what do I know of drafts and elixirs? But tell me, do you think the MAULBORN pose a threat to the rest of Deshawn?
Yes, I read all the notes. But we're not going to tell her that, I guess? I'm not sure. It certainly sounds like they're planning to clean more than just STERK.
That's what I'm thinking as well. But maybe your efforts were enough to put an end to all that.
Sadly, no.
For now, at least, the STERK is safe. Take this as a thank you for helping us. The MAULBORN have been dealt with, but I could use a little more of your help if you don't mind.
Of course, what do you need?
It's my brother. He's still ill and his condition has taken a turn for the worse. Naline is working to develop some kind of treatment, but she could use your assistance. She can't work at her alchemy table and also gather the components she needs.
What should I do?
Talk to Naline. Let her know I ask you to assist her. She can be a little aloof, but she'll tell you what she needs you to do.
I'll talk to Naline right now.
Yes? It's nice to see you again, of course, but I am kind of in the middle of something here.
Arona said you needed some help.
Did she? Well, I suppose I do. There are a few additives I require, but I can't very well walk away from my table while the Thesum and the rest of the townsfolk need my skills. Even this interruption can prove disastrous where alchemy is concerned.
What this do you need me to get?
I need Kind's heart healing herbs, sour milk tea, and dragon scale mushrooms. The innkeeper usually has healing herbs. Grell Flan loved sour milk tea, and Sorel Tatus had a taste for exotic mushrooms. You should find what I need in those locations.
Okay. The brooding elf.
It's times like these when I wish I had more help around here. Is there something I can get you?
Any chance you have Kind's heart healing herbs?
Well, I might have some around here someplace, but Kind's heart is very rare and valuable. I can make a fair bit of gold if I hold out for the right price.
Smiley needs it to help Destin.
What? Why didn't you say so? I owe Defisa more than I could ever repay. Plus, he's always been a good customer. Please, take this. It's all I have left.
Thank you.
My lord is terribly ill and needs to rest.
The situation is the same as it was the last time you inquired. You're welcome to remain here, or feel free to move into the next hall for a hot meal and a cool drink.
Okay, let's go back to Nalene. Nalene, we got all the stuff.
Where did you go to get those ingredients? Windhelm? No matter. You're here now. Were you able to acquire everything on my list?
I think so. Here's what you asked for.
Healing herbs, dragon scale mushrooms, sour milk tea. Yes, it's all here. I need to stay here and monitor my patient's condition. Go over to the alchemy table and mix those ingredients together, please.
Okay. The alchemist underneath knows. The Lotus Plague is a damn complex concoction. I'm not sure I have the skill and experience to totally counter-react its properties, but I have an idea for how to suppress and slow the pace of the disease. It will require a number of rare exotic ingredients to pull this off, though. The alchemy concoction, such as I'm imagining, doesn't like to be a subject of high heat. It's too volatilized. It needs to be allowed to steep and brew. Therefore, an adjustment to 1/4 frame should suffice to get the alchemy limit to the proper temperature. First, I'll keep a good amount of the kind heart. Their healing herbs are prized for their powerful medicals. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that didn't really... Oh, it does say, okay. The alchemy table is remarkably clean and well kept. Adjust the flame to 1/4 height. The alchemical device releases a short hiss of steam and the flame bursts to life. I should add the kind's heart healing herbs now. The herbs release a pungent odor as the alchemical process begins. I should add the sour milk tea now. The sour milk tea slowly simmers, masking the odor of herbs, thickening nicely. I should add dragon scale mushrooms now. The mushrooms dissolve into a thick liquid, releasing a glowing rainbow of color into a concoction. I should take the completed potion and bring it to Nalene.
You did it? Well done. I never doubted you for an instant. Now, let me have the mixture, if you please.
Here's the potion you asked me to make.
This appears to be perfect. I truly am impressed. Now we'll see what happens and leave the rest in the tribunal's hands. Our friend has done well. I'm not sure this will cure the plague, but it should at least slow down its progress. All right, that's it. Visiting time is over. Everyone out and let my patient rest.
You heard the lady. Let's go wait outside.
Please, Mother Morrowind, please.
Nileen knows what she's doing. Dithesum will be fine. You'll see.
I don't know how to thank you. Without your help, the MAULBORN would have destroyed the STERK.
We did everything we could, and Aline seems to know what she's doing.
I know. His fate is in the Three's hands now, but he certainly has a fighting chance thanks to you. Here, take this. There's no way I can truly repay you for what you've done for the STERK, but it's a start.
No problem, babes.
I'm happy to say that the suppressant works. It's not a cure, but it should buy me the time I need to find a way to beat the plague.
That's wonderful news. If I wasn't worried about spreading the plague, I'd kiss you right on the lips.
Who is that? Alright, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye, lovelies!